bad call. Yeah, it was the wrong call. Yes, they should have won the game. All of that's true. It happens.
But how did they miss that with LeBron James?
I just told you. I said they made a mistake. They messed up.
Did you see that game where LeBron got a tech for slapping the backboard? Yeah, you heard me right. The ref blew the whistle so fast, you'd think LeBron had just insulted his mom. But honestly, that's just the beginning. NBA refs are going wild this season, and the players are fed up. We're talking 29 ejections already. That's more than one player getting tossed every 3 games. So what's really going on with these refs? Let's find out more. On Court Grind. You know what's crazier than LeBron's stats? The number of techs he's gotten this year. It's like the refs have a personal vendetta against the king. But that LeBron backboard slap? That was something else. Picture this. LeBron throws down a monster dunk, the crowd going wild, and he gives the backboard a little love tap. Nothing crazy, right? Wrong. The ref blows his whistle faster than LeBron can say, "No way." Technical foul. Just like that. Fans? They lost it. Players? Scratching their heads.
Oh my goodness!
Were like, what just happened? It's like the refs forgot they were at a basketball game and thought they were judging a library's silence contest. But LeBron's not the only one dealing with these bizarre calls this season. It's been happening all over the league. Remember when Victor Wembanyama got a tech for bouncing the ball too hard? That's right, bouncing the ball. The kid's 7'4". Everything he does is gonna look a little more intense. But a tech for that? Come on. It's like the refs are handing out techs like candy on Halloween. You get a tech. You get a tech. Everybody gets a tech. They're treating that whistle like it's going out of style. So, what's the craziest call NBA refs have made this season? It's hard to pick just one. We had Ja Morant getting a tech for staring. Yep, staring. Or when Luka Doncic got one for saying, "Hell no," after a bad call. I mean, come on. It's like the refs are trying to turn the NBA into a finishing school. But wait, it gets even wilder. These calls aren't just random. Something's going on here. It's not just bad calls. There's a whole system behind them. And it's more complicated than you'd think. It's not just about the rule book. There's politics, personal beefs, and a whole lot of ego involved. Remember that 3-17 playoff record we mentioned? That's not just a random stat. It's the smoking gun in one of the NBA's most heated feuds. Chris Paul versus Scott Foster isn't just a player-ref matchup. It's a full-blown soap opera that's been playing out for years. And trust me, this plot has more twists than a Steph Curry ankle breaker. You think refs just show up, blow their whistles, and go home? Think again. There's a whole world of drama happening behind those black and white stripes. Some players are convinced the refs have it out for them. And you know what? They might be onto something. Let's talk about Chris Paul and Scott Foster. These two have more beef than a Texas BBQ joint. Paul's got a 3-17 record in playoff games. Foster's refed. Coincidence? I don't think so. It's like Foster's whistle has a personal vendetta against CP3. Players are starting to notice, and they're not happy about it. But it's not just about personal beefs. There's a whole system behind how refs are assigned and evaluated. You'd think with all the fancy replay tech we have now, bad calls would be a thing of the past. Nope. They're still happening left and right. And get this. Some refs might be taking things into their own hands off the court.
He had a burner account. He's not criticizing other refs or criticizing the league. How did they even find this nonsense? He did something which was silly. It's sad that he had to retire a little bit earlier than he probably wanted.
Referee Eric Lewis is retiring. And since he is retiring, the league is ending its investigation into him over his alleged use of a Twitter burner account.
With Eric Lewis, he didn't really see a path to recovering from this and still maybe not getting mocked or people just sort of digging into other areas. And it seems like maybe he just retired as a result.
Remember Eric Lewis? He got caught using a burner account to defend his calls. It's like he was trying to be his own PR team. The NBA had to investigate, and guess what? Lewis ended up retiring real quick. Players are getting fed up. They want refs to face the music after bad calls.
Why can't the media interview them, being the referees, post-game too? You can see the tweet right there. And then Trae Young took to Twitter yesterday to voice his concerns about certain aspects of NBA officiating. Just a thought, instead of making a call and moving on, now the call will mean something to them as well.
Trae Young even suggested refs should do post-game interviews. Can you imagine? So, Mr. Referee, what were you thinking when you called that foul? That would be must-see TV. The NBA's in a tough spot. They say they hold refs accountable behind closed doors, but that's not enough for players and fans. They want to see some real consequences. Adam Silver's doing his best to keep the peace, but it's like trying to referee a game between cats and dogs. It's impossible. You think players are just complaining for nothing? Think again. There's a stat that's got everyone talking, and it's not about points or assists. It's about how often the refs are kicking players out of games. We're looking at 29 ejections so far this season. That's crazy. It's like the refs are playing their own game of who wants to leave early. And it's not just the big names getting the boot. Role players, coaches, even the poor mascots are feeling the heat. Remember when Kyle Lowry got a tech for tossing the ball to a ref? I mean, come on. What's next? A technical for tying your shoes too aggressively? The fans are losing it. They're not shelling out big bucks to watch their favorite players warm the bench. Imagine dropping hundreds on tickets, only to see your star player get tossed in the first quarter. That's not just disappointing. It's infuriating. And don't even get me started on social media. After every game, it's like a digital riot. N-bar refs suck is trending more than highlight reels. Fans are unleashing their frustration online. And let me tell you, it ain't pretty. The players, they're walking on eggshells. One wrong move, one wrong word, and bam! They're hitting the showers early. It's like playing basketball in a minefield. How are they supposed to focus on the game when they're constantly worried about getting ejected? The league's trying to keep things under control, but it's like they're trying to put out a fire with gasoline. Every attempt to address the issue seems to make things worse. It's a mess, and it's only getting messier. Things are reaching a boiling point. The Players Association is speaking up, demanding more consistency and accountability from the refs. Fans are calling for change. Even some of the cooler heads in the league are starting to lose their patience. Crisis? That's putting it mildly. This ref situation isn't just changing the game, it's reshaping the entire NBA landscape. From fantasy leagues to betting odds, the ripple effects are hitting places you'd never expect. Ready to see just how deep this rabbit hole goes? You think this is just about basketball? Think again. This ref drama is messing with the whole game. Players are second-guessing every move they make. It's like they're playing on eggshells, afraid to even breathe wrong. The flow of the game? It's all choppy now. 1 minute it's fast and furious, the next it's stop and go like rush hour traffic. And the coaches? They're losing it too. Imagine trying to coach when you don't even know what you can say without getting a tech. It's like playing charades, but the penalty for guessing wrong is getting kicked out of the game. Let's talk about fantasy basketball for a second. You used to worry about injuries and rest days. Now, you never know who's going to get ejected next. Your star player could be gone before halftime for staring at a ref the wrong way. It's turning fantasy leagues into a game of Russian roulette. The refs are feeling the heat too. Every call they make gets replayed and analyzed to death. It's like they're performing surgery with the whole world watching. One wrong move and social media explodes. Now NBARF's suck is trending more than highlight reels these days. Some players are saying enough is enough. They want refs to face the music after bad calls. But here's the million-dollar question: how do we fix this? Other sports have figured it out with post-game reviews and public accountability, leading to better calls all around and kept players happy. Maybe it's time for the NBA to stop dodging the issue and start making those changes. Because if this trend continues, the game we love is in serious trouble.